Hi, everybody. Welcome into Blonde Ambitions podcast. I'm your host, Dianna King. I'm so incredibly happy to be here. I could cry. I finally have a podcast. Yay! I wanted to make a quick intro episode just to kind of give an overview of what to expect here and to have you guys get to know me a little bit better. And also to talk about why I got into podcasting. I think at a really young age, it started in me that I wanted to inspire people. And I've always loved to connect with people and hear people's stories and learn where they came from. And I'm just so intrigued by all of those things. And so I've always loved to read and write and all of that. So back in 2014, I started a blog and it was called California King Mama. I was just about to get married and we were about to start our family. And it was just a cool little creative place for me, like an outlet. And I was able to just be me and connect with others. And hopefully, I inspired others through my blog. And I think that's kind of where this all picked up for me. But let me back up a little bit. I grew up dancing and performing. And so when I was young, I had this almost like this realization that when I was on stage and I entertained, was dancing or whatever, was performing, that afterwards people were so happy and they would smile and they would clap and they would say, "Oh my God, what a great performance. That was so amazing." And I loved bringing that joy to people. And it's so weird because I learned it at such a young age and it just never really left me. And so it's always been my passion to be creative and be in that realm, I guess you could say. And so doing a podcast was kind of like the next thing for me that I thought was made sense. And it was, it's kind of cool adding one more little thing to my creative toolbox. I've been listening to podcasts for a long time, and I'm going to share with you 5 of my top podcasts that I've always listened to. I have always loved Kristen Cavallari. I don't know what it is. I think, especially as she's gotten older, or I should say, she's very real. And I like how she discusses things that women don't like, it's taboo to talk about, or, we're not supposed to feel that way, or we're not supposed to talk about that. But her podcast, Let's Be Honest with Kristen Cavallari, it's amazing. She does get real, she gets honest, and she just talks about things that we go through as we get older. So it's definitely relatable and definitely helps me. And she also has really amazing guests on there too. I mean, she just had Travis Kelce, but FYI, this was way before like the Taylor Swift stuff. So I would love to actually have him back on and talk about Taylor Swift. By the way, I all for it. I think it's cute. Whatever. It is what it is. Let him live. My next favorite podcast I absolutely love. This is for my true crime people out there. It's called Crime Junkie. It is jam-packed 45 minutes of just straight true crime. It's hosted by 2 amazing hosts. They are so good at the storytelling. They suck you right in, and it's like from start to finish, you cannot stop listening. It's so good. This next one is for my actor friends out there. It's called Second Act Actors with Janet McMorty. It's directed towards people that have chosen acting as like their second career. This podcast is wonderful because she has great guests on there that walk you through the business. They give you tons of inspiration. There's a lot of acting coaches that are on there. I mean, tons of great information. And I enjoy this podcast because I have gotten back into acting later on in life after not doing it for so long. And so it definitely helps keep me inspired and it keeps me on track to where I know that I have the latest knowledge basically in the industry. And this next podcast, you guys, is talk about inspiration. The Gold Digger podcast by Jenna Kutcher is fabulous. She, I believe, came onto the scene, like, quote unquote, as like an influencer, I want to say. And I remember following her a long time ago, and she was just really inspirational. And I don't know what it was about her. She just always had like such great advice and information. And she was really encouraging. But that's exactly what her podcast is about. It's really about redefining your success, and what does success mean to you? You know, finding out what really drives you, and what you want to be successful. And do you guys hear my dog? There's 3 animals in here right now. I have 5. I have 2 dogs and a cat in here. And just a second ago, that big crash you heard was my cat that I found at Home Depot. Just, it's going to be another crash. Okay, he finally fell off the table. So, the Gold Digger podcast is really about redefining your success and figuring out what your dreams are and how to chase those dreams and stay smart about it. And also on the side, how to be an entrepreneur. Maybe you want to do a side hustle or, something like that. She's got all the tips and tricks, you guys. She's great. This last podcast, you guys, is really just a guilty pleasure, and it's because I love her, and she's from one of my favorite Real Housewives franchises. Okay, it's called On Display with Melissa Gorga, and hear me out. I love this podcast. It's so funny. Joe, her husband, Joe Gorga, comes on the show or the podcast all the time. It's not even like their podcast together. He's just on it all the time. Joe knows what he's doing. He's great. Anyways, I love the banter that they have, and they have such a sweet respect for each other. It's just really cool to see. But I love the Housewives of New Jersey. I love how over the top they are. I love it, and they just don't care. And I think that's hilarious, and I love it. I respect it. It is what it is. And I'm also Italian, and so maybe I don't know, maybe that's why. But anyway, guys, I wanted also to give you guys an idea of what's going to happen over here. I'm going to have some really cool entertainment industry professionals that are on that are going to tell some really cool stories. They're going to definitely share some ways how they stay positive in life and how they stay driven, how they stay inspired to keep doing what they're doing. I'm really excited for that. I've already got some really great guests coming on the next episode. I'm also going to have some local influencers on. I'm excited for that. Some content creators. I love promoting other people that are in the creative space. We're also going to talk about some mindset work, you guys, and some really tangible tools on how to better your mental health, especially, going through some really rough times. Of course, we're going to be talking about pop culture, reality TV, some music. It's going to be great. I'm so excited for those episodes because that's when Sarah is going to join me. I hope that this podcast inspires you guys because that's just really what I want. And I want everyone to feel good afterwards. I want them to feel better about themselves. It's either these things, one of these things, hopefully, that you feel better about yourself afterwards. You are having a bad day and this turned your day around. That would be amazing. You feel inspired. And so you just start something new and you take a chance. That would be cool, or just an easy listen. Maybe you're driving out of town and it's just an easy listen. And I would love for that to happen. And whoever's out there listening, I hope any of those things are happening for you. And at the end of each episode, I want to end asking you, what is your ambitious goal for the week? So this week, guys, mine is to release the trailer for this podcast, which hopefully is out by now. And if it's not, we have a problem because we're going out of order. No, but really, I'm excited to start this and release this, and I'm a little nervous. And so my goal for the week is to trust myself and stay strong and just pray to God that this podcast is received well. Anyway, you guys, Thank you so much for listening. Like, really, thank you so much. It means the world to me. You guys follow me on Instagram at Blonde Ambitions Podcast. You can also follow me on Instagram at Dianna King Official, Dianna with 2 N's. This podcast has just been in the works for such a long time. So I'm just really excited to do something like this and be creative and just share with others. Next week, like I was saying, I'm going to have 2 insanely talented people on the podcast. They are in the music industry. They're also in the film industry. They are really heavy up in the Northern California music scene. I met them on the film set that I was just on. I'm so excited to have them on. You guys are going to love them. They are the most positive people I've ever met. And it's going to be great. They're going to come in and tell us some amazing stories and drop some really, really good gold nuggets that we're going to need for our mindsets as well. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in and listening. Follow us on Spotify, like and subscribe. Share this with others, please. Follow us on Instagram. Share this with your friends. I want to have fun here, and I want you to have fun with me. So stay ambitious, guys, and I will see you next time. See ya.